Ever wonder if you're still the main character in your own life? Picture this. You're hustling through your day, grabbing a drive-through burger, swiping through X, chasing that optimized routine your fitness app mapped out. It's smooth, efficient, like a well-oiled machine. But somewhere between the algorithm's next song and the job at it knows you'll click, a quiet doubt creeps in. When did I start playing a role instead of living my truth? AI is not just picking your playlists. It's nudging you into a version of yourself that feels pre-packaged, like you're a guest star in your own story, following cues you didn't write. Here's the wake-up call. You can steal the spotlight back. This episode dives into existentialism, that fierce, soul-stirring philosophy that shouts, you define your life, not your apps, not the algorithm's next suggestion. You. Existentialism doesn't hand you a script. It tosses you a blank page and says, write what matters. Imagine skipping that algorithm-approved to-do list for a messy, glorious afternoon. Maybe strumming a guitar you haven't touched in years or sharing a porch swing chat with your neighbor, no phones. Just real talk. It's about saying, forget it, to the grind, and hell yes, to what makes you feel alive. Be it dancing in your kitchen, mentoring a kid, or chasing a dream you shelved. Ready to step into your own spotlight and craft a life that's unapologetically yours? Let's kick off this journey to find your meaning in the AI age, one fearless choice at a time. Smart alarm, fresh from analyzing your sleep, buzzes you awake for an ideal morning. By lunch, your phone's pinged with a diner Google Maps swears is your vibe, a playlist Spotify insists you'll love, and a calendar app scheduling your gym time. Your X feed feels psychic, ads for that jacket you eyed, reels hitting your exact mood. It's slick, almost enchanting, how AI seems to know you. But in this polished rhythm, a whisper creeps in. Am I steering this life? Or is it steering me? That tug, that hunger for something real. It's your soul pushing back against a world that's a bit too perfect. AI's brilliance is its seamlessness. It's your planner, stylist, even your dream weaver, predicting your next purchase, your next follow, your next ambition. But here's the flaw. It's not built to stop and wonder, what makes you tick? It's a system wired to keep you moving, buying, streaming, achieving, not reflecting. You might carve out an evening to dream big, maybe sketch your goals or call a friend. But soon, you're sucked into a TikTok loop, chasing life hacks that feel hollow. It's not your fault. AI is designed to hook your focus, not free your mind. This isn't about vilifying tech. AI is a tool, not a monster. But it's blind to the questions that haunt you at 3 a.m. Why am I here? What's my purpose? Across kitchens, offices, and park benches, people feel this gap. Recent studies confirm it. Most crave a life beyond likes, paychecks, or curated feeds. Enter existentialism, the raw philosophy that faces life's chaos head-on. Viktor Frankl, who found meaning in unimaginable hardship, wrote in Man's Search for Meaning, those who have a why to live can bear almost any how. That's your lifeline. AI can optimize your how, your tasks, your time, but only you can forge your why. Meet Sam, a graphic designer caught in AI's web. His days blurred with algorithm-driven gigs, logos spit out by software, briefs shaped by data. His work was polished, his wallet full, but his fire was gone. One night, staring at another trending project, he broke. He shut his laptop, grabbed a sketchbook, and drew a chaotic comic about his childhood dog. It wasn't sellable. It didn't go viral, but it set him ablaze. That choice, art over algorithm, was Sam saying, "This is me." He began reserving hours for his own creations, even if it meant fewer gigs. His passion roared back. Sam's story isn't about ditching tech. It's about finding his why. Existentialism doesn't demand you burn your phone. It dares you to ask, what's worth my time? Maybe it's baking your mom's cornbread, no post, just the warm scent of home. Or coaching a kid's soccer team, phone aside, fully there. Or diving into a hobby AI wouldn't pitch, like knitting or jazz, because it makes you whole. Frankel's why is your compass in the digital haze. Maybe it's love, truth, or simply showing up for someone. Whatever it is, it's your rebellion. In the AI age, chasing it isn't just a choice, it's a revolution. So, what's your why? Existentialism isn't a rule book or a feel-good mantra. It's a call to arms. It hands you a pen, a blank page, and a challenge. Write your own damn story. No preset answers, no cosmic cheat sheet. In a world where AI churns out playlists, career paths, and even your next date's profile, this philosophy roars. You are not your algorithm. You're not the sum of your clicks or likes. You're your actions, your choices, the moments you decide to show up as your truest self. And that's both thrilling and terrifying. Let's start with Jean-Paul Sartre, the existentialist firebrand who said we're condemned to be free. Picture that for a second. Condemned. It's not a warm hug. It's a wake-up slap. It means you're stuck with the weight of every choice, no matter how loud AI's suggestions get. That job your app says is perfect, those sneakers it knows you'll buy, they're noise. Freedom means pausing, looking inward and asking, what do I actually want? Take a Friday night. Your streaming service begs you to binge a new series, tailored to your every click. But you shut it off, grab a beat-up novel from your shelf, and lose yourself in words that hit your soul. That's radical freedom, choosing meaning over a machine's nudge. But existentialism isn't just Sartre's show. Albert Camus, another giant, called life absurd. No grand plan, no cosmic director shouting, "Here's your purpose." Just a universe that shrugs. Sounds bleak, right? But Camus didn't wallow. He said to rebel, to live with passion, to create meaning because there's no script. Imagine you're at a career fair, AI spitting out optimized paths, data analyst, software engineer. But you're drawn to teaching, despite the lower pay, because shaping young minds lights you up. That's you staring down the absurd and saying, I'll define success my way. It's defiance with a heartbeat. Then there's Søren Kierkegaard, the guy who kicked off existentialism with a question. How do I live authentically? He talked about the leap of faith, not just religious, but a commitment to your own truth, even when it's messy. Picture a barista, Lisa, who's drowning in AI-driven side hustle apps, pushing gigs that feel hollow. One day she says, enough, signs up for a pottery class and spends her evenings covered in clay, crafting wonky mugs that make her grin. No app recommended it. No algorithm saw it coming. But those mugs, they're Lisa's leap, her way of saying, this is who I am. Existentialism stands apart from other philosophies like Zen mindfulness, which invites you to observe life without judgment, floating in the moment. Existentialism grabs you by the shoulders and demands you judge. Make choices that scream who you're becoming. It's not about drifting. It's about steering. Think of a parent who skips an AI parenting app's generic tips to tell their kid a bedtime story from their own childhood. Or a musician who ditches AI-generated beats to strum raw, imperfect chords on a thrift store guitar. These are modern existentialists, people who choose authenticity over automation. Let's ground this in a story. Meet Aisha, a marketing assistant whose life was a checklist curated by tech, AI-suggested courses, trending hobbies, even ideal vacation spots. She was winning at the game, but inside, she felt like a stranger. One weekend, fed up, she ignored her app's itinerary and drove to a small-town diner her dad used to love. Sitting at the counter, eating pie and chatting with a stranger about life, she felt something shift. No hashtags, no filters, just a moment that was hers. Aisha started making more choices like that, volunteering at a local shelter, sketching in a notebook, saying no to projects that drained her. Each step was a brick in the life she was building, not one AI handed her. In the AI age, your freedom to choose is your superpower. It's not about rejecting tech. Your phone's fine, your apps are tools. It's about refusing to let them define you. Every time you pick what matters, whether it's a walk with your dog, a late-night talk with a friend, or a passion project no algorithm would greenlight, you're an existentialist. You're telling the world, this is my life, and I'm writing it. So, grab that pen. What's the next line of your story? AI doesn't just guess what you'll buy. It's got its hands on something deeper, who you think you are. Every day, you're nudged into a version of yourself shaped by code. Open Instagram, and filters don't just smooth your selfies, they polish your self-worth, tying it to likes and follows. Job platforms like LinkedIn push optimized career paths, data scientist, corporate strategist, steering you toward what's trending, not what's you. Even mental health apps, with their tidy affirmations and generic breathing exercises, can feel like they're papering over your real struggles with a one-size-fits-all fix. It's subtle, but relentless. AI is not just curating your life, it's curating you. This isn't about tech being evil, it's about its blind spots. Social media algorithms reward performance, the perfect post, the viral reel, the hustle that screams success. But when your value hinges on how you stack up online, you risk becoming a highlight reel, not a human. Shoshana Zuboff in The Age of Surveillance Capitalism nails it. When tech predicts and shapes our desires, we lose the space to dream for ourselves. You start chasing what the algorithm amplifies, followers, clout, relevance, and forget what sets your soul on fire. That nagging feeling like you're wearing a mask, that's your identity fighting to break free. Existentialism steps in here like a lifeline. Simone de Beauvoir, a powerhouse in the movement, said identity isn't something you're handed. It's something you build, choice by choice. You're not born a content creator or a team player. You become who you choose to be. That's radical in an age where AI tries to box you in. Take Jean-Paul Sartre's idea of bad faith, living in authentically, letting external forces like algorithms define you. Every time you tweak your life to fit tech's mold, you're flirting with bad faith. But every time you push back, you're reclaiming your essence. Let's meet Javier, a 30-something office manager who felt this squeeze. His life was a checklist of AI's best practices. A fitness app dictated his runs. A career tool pushed him toward management tracks he didn't want. And X's algorithm fed him posts that made him feel like he was always falling behind. He was successful by every metric. Great job, curated feed, but inside, he was unraveling. One evening, scrolling through yet another life hack video, he hit a wall. He silenced his phone, dug out an old journal, and wrote about what he really wanted: to coach youth soccer, to reconnect with his Puerto Rican roots through cooking, to be present for his partner without a screen in hand. Those weren't trending goals. They didn't light up any algorithm, but they lit up Javier. He started small, swapping one app-driven workout for a pickup game with kids, cooking his mom's arroz con gandules for friends. Each choice was a step toward a self he recognized, not one tech had sculpted. De Beauvoir would cheer Javier on. She'd say, identity isn't fixed. It's a project, a constant becoming. When you choose based on your values, not text prompts, you're sculpting who you are. Imagine a writer who sees AI-generated stories flooding X. It's tempting to feel irrelevant, to churn out clickbait to stay relevant. But she doubles down on her quirky human tales because they're hers. Or picture a new mom who downloads an AI parenting app, only to find its rigid schedules clash with her instincts. She tosses the app, trusts her gut, and finds her rhythm rocking her baby to sleep. These aren't just choices. They're acts of defiance, proof you're more than a data point. This is where existentialism gets practical. It's not about ditching tech. Your phone's a tool, not the enemy. It's about noticing when AI's nudging you toward a life that doesn't fit. When you say no to a job that looks good on LinkedIn but feels wrong in your bones, you're building your identity. When you call a friend instead of doom scrolling, you're choosing connection over clicks. When you turn off notifications to savor a quiet dinner, you're telling the world, this is who I am. In the AI age, these moments are your rebellion. They're how you keep your dreams, your quirks, your heart from being outsourced to an algorithm. Before you can push back against AI's relentless pull, you need a compass, something to fight for. Existentialism says purpose isn't floating out there in the ether, waiting to be found. It's forged inside you from the raw material of your core values. Those gut-deep truths, maybe creativity, family, justice, or adventure, are the foundation of a life that feels like yours. But here's the catch. In a world where your phone pings with notifications, ads, and trending priorities, it's easy to lose sight of what matters. Every swipe, every algorithm-driven suggestion tugs you toward a life shaped by tech, not by you. So, how do you cut through the noise? Start small, but start real. Grab a notebook, yes, an actual pen and paper, and write down 3 values that make your heart hum. Not what your boss, your feed, or your app thinks you should care about. What's you? Maybe it's connection, like sharing a coffee with your best friend. Or courage, like standing up for what's right. Now hold a mirror to your digital life. Does your time on X, TikTok, or email reflect those values? Or are you drowning in distractions that don't align? If you value presence, but spend your evenings scrolling news instead of talking to your partner, it's time to recalibrate. Take Elena, a high school teacher who felt adrift. Her days were a blur of AI-graded quizzes and optimized lesson plans. But her spark was fading. One morning she sat down and listed her values: empathy, growth, community. She realized her phone-first routine, checking X before breakfast, grading on autopilot, wasn't serving those. So, she started small. 10 minutes each morning, journaling about a student she wanted to uplift, skipping notifications to focus. At a school event, instead of snapping pics for socials, she listened to a shy kid share his dreams. That moment, unfiltered and unposted, felt like her truest self. Elena's not perfect, but she's building a life that honors her values, one choice at a time. Existentialism doesn't judge, it clarifies. You are what you choose to amplify. A quiet breakfast without your phone can be a manifesto. A walk where you notice the leaves instead of your inbox can be a revolution. Want to try it? Pick a moment this week, maybe a family dinner or a solo coffee run. Ask yourself, What do I value right now? Then act on it. Don't post it. Don't track it. Just live it. Those choices are your roots, grounding you against AI's tug. They're how you start crafting a life that's not just curated, but created. Existentialism isn't just about knowing who you are, it's about doing who you are. Sartre's blunt truth hits hard. We are our choices. In an age where AI hands you pre-packaged decisions, gig apps picking your work, algorithms curating your hobbies, choosing deliberately is your rebellion. Every time you act on your values, you're not just living, you're proving you're more than a data point. You're a person with a soul, staking your claim in a world that's always trying to autopilot your life. The challenge is simple, but fierce. Make one value-aligned choice each day, no matter how small. It's not about perfection. It's about practice. If you value creativity, maybe you skip an AI-suggested productive task and doodle in a sketchbook instead. If it's connection, you call your mom instead of liking her post. These acts echo the American ideal of following your heart, but existentialism sharpens it. You're not just chasing feelings. You're responsible for the life you build. No app, no algorithm, no excuse can take that weight off your shoulders. Consider Marcus, a freelance coder buried in AI-driven gigs, endless apps, predictable paychecks, zero passion. His values? Curiosity, impact, freedom. But his days were a grind, dictated by platforms pushing top-rated projects. One night, fed up, he took a leap. He turned down a generic app build and pitched a pro bono website for a local animal shelter. It paid nothing, but coding for a cause he cared about, dogs finding homes, felt electric. Marcus started weaving more choices like that, teaching a kid to code, biking without his phone, saying no to soul-draining contracts. Each step was a middle finger to AI's script, a nod to his own. These choices don't need to be epic. Swap a Netflix binge for a library book. Walk without earbuds, letting your thoughts breathe. Write a letter, yes, actual, paper, to someone you love. Each act screams, I'm choosing. Research backs this up. Intentional actions, even tiny ones, boost mental clarity and purpose. But existentialism doesn't care about studies. It cares about you owning your life. You'll mess up. You'll fall back into text pull. That's fine. The point is to keep choosing, to keep showing up for the life you want. Try this today. Pick one value from your list. Maybe it's adventure. Instead of scrolling travel reels, plan a hike this weekend. Or if it's kindness, skip X for an hour and help a neighbor. These aren't chores. They're your life's pulse. In the AI age, every intentional act is a spark, lighting up the person you're becoming. So, what's one choice you can make right now to say, this is me? Albert Camus dropped a bomb with his idea of the absurd. Life has no built-in meaning, no cosmic GPS to guide you. It's just you, a blank universe, and a whole lot of questions. In an AI world that loves to predict your next move, you'll love this video. This career's your fit. The absurd feels like a slap. Tech sells certainty, but Camus says there's none to be had. And yet, he doesn't shrug and give up. He tells you to rebel, to create, love, and live with guts. Not because it makes sense, but because it's yours. This step is about staring down the absurd and choosing anyway. It's courage, not in a superhero cape, but in the quiet, defiant choices that make you feel alive. Picture a college kid, Mia, surrounded by AI-driven degree planners pushing safe majors like tech or finance. Her heart's in poetry, though, words that dance, even if they don't pay. Everyone says it's impractical, but she enrolls in a writing program, scribbling verses that light her up. That's her saying, "Screw the algorithm, this is my life." Or think of a retiree who picks up woodworking, not for Etsy sales, but because carving a wonky birdhouse feels real. These are acts of existential courage, bets on joy over sense. What's absurd in your life? Maybe it's chasing a dream that doesn't fit AI's optimized path, a dance class when you're too old, a volunteer gig that won't pad your resume. Camus would say, chase it. The absurd isn't a dead end, it's a dare. Research shows embracing uncertainty can boost resilience, but forget the data. Camus' point is deeper. The struggle itself, the act of choosing in the face of why bother, fills your heart. It's why Mia writes, why the retiree carves, why you might say yes to something that scares you. Try this. Name one thing that brings you joy, even if it feels pointless to the world. A hike with no destination. A song you belt out, off-key. A gap year to wander. Now do it. Not for likes, not for productivity, but because it's yours. Camus wrote, "The struggle itself is enough to fill a man's heart." In the AI age, living boldly in the absurd is your anthem. So, what's your next courageous step? Meaning isn't a lightning bolt. It's a habit, woven into the fabric of your days. In a world where AI pushes instant gratification, new reels, new alerts, existentialism calls for something slower, deeper, routines that anchor you to your values. These aren't rigid schedules or productivity hacks. They're tiny rituals that say, "This is my life, and I'm showing up for it." Big change starts small, in the moments you choose intention over distraction. Here's how to start. Every morning, take 5 minutes to reflect. Ask, what matters today? Write it down. Maybe it's kindness, learning, or joy. Then pick one action to honor that value. Skip X to write a poem. Walk your dog with full attention. Call a friend. End your day with a question. Did I live my truth? This isn't about perfection, it's about direction. A barista, Priya, felt crushed by her AI-scheduled shifts and trending side hustles. Her value was growth, but her days felt stale. She started a ritual. Morning coffee with a notebook, jotting one thing she wanted to learn. She'd spend 20 minutes reading, poetry, history, whatever sparked her. At night, she'd reflect. Did I grow? Over time, those moments led her to a community college course, a step toward a life she owned. Weekly rhythms matter too. Host a phone-free Sunday brunch where stories trump screens. Join a book club, not for clout, but for ideas that stir you. Volunteer at a shelter, feeling the weight of real impact. These habits aren't chores. They're your resistance to AI's rush. Research shows daily reflection sharpens purpose, but existentialism's take is rawer. Your routine is your rebellion, a toolkit for the soul. Priya's notebook wasn't just paper, it was her saying, "I'm more than my shifts." Build your own rhythm. Maybe it's a nightly walk, phone off, stars above, or a weekly letter to someone you love. Whatever it is, make it yours. In the AI age where speed rules, slowing down to live intentionally is radical. What's one ritual you can start to ground your days? Meaning doesn't grow in isolation. It thrives in the raw, tangled beauty of human connection. Sartre taught that relationships are mirrors, reflecting our freedom and shaping who we become. But in an AI-driven world, real bonds are under attack. Apps favor quick emojis over heartfelt talks, virtual meetups over shared laughter. Yet, it's in those unscripted moments, with family, friends, even strangers, that purpose takes root. Tech can broadcast your voice, but only love builds your soul. Your routines from the last step set the stage for this. Instead of letting AI dictate your social life, choose connection. Ditch texts for a call, catching the tremble in your brother's voice as he shares a worry. Host a game night where bad jokes outshine notifications. Start a tradition, maybe monthly campfire chats, phones off, just stories under the stars. These aren't just events, they're lifelines. Take Leo, a college student lost in AI-enhanced group chats, feeling alone despite constant pings. His value was community, but his digital life was a void. He launched a weekly no-tech book club, gathering friends for pizza and deep dives into novels. No bots, no filters, just real debates and laughs. Those nights didn't just spark ideas, they sparked belonging. Leo found purpose not in likes, but in listening. American rituals like tailgates or porch swings carry this magic, moments that bind us. But you don't need a special occasion. Commit to one real connection a week. Ask your aunt about her old road trips over coffee. Volunteer at a food bank, swapping smiles with strangers. Join a local choir, singing for joy, not clout. These acts aren't small. They're seismic, shaping your identity through bonds, not algorithms. In the AI age, choosing love over likes is your revolution. Who's someone you can reach out to today? Let's pause for a laugh with Jamie, our fictional pal who learned AI isn't the wisest life coach. Picture a 4th of July weekend, Jamie deciding to let tech run the show. It knows me, right? Netflix picks a patriotic war flick. Spotify cues a summer BBQ playlist. Then an event app suggests a festive local class. Jamie arrives expecting a chill workshop, only to find patriotic clown aerobics. Think star-spangled leotards, squeaky noses, and Sweet Caroline burpees. Jamie tries to keep up, flopping through a flag-waving routine, but collapses and giggles, the only one not saluting the instructor's kazoo. That ridiculous moment flipped a switch. Jamie ditched their phone and headed to a neighbor's backyard BBQ. Unplanned, uncurated. No algorithm picked the lopsided burgers or the off-key sing-along, but the night felt alive. Fireflies, laughter, real talk under a summer sky. That mishap wasn't just funny, it was existential. Jamie realized joy lives in the unscripted, not AI's perfect plans. They started choosing their own vibes, jamming with a garage band no app suggested, hosting taco nights no platform promoted. One clowny flop reminded Jamie, life's best scenes are the ones you write. Existentialism thrives on this. It's about embracing the chaos, finding meaning in the glitches. Jamie's kazoo-fueled wake-up call showed AI's limits and their own power to choose. In the AI age, these tech fails are little gifts, nudging you to take back the reins. So, chuckle at the flops, then chase what's real. What's a tech goof that made you rethink your path? Finding meaning is no walk in the park. Existentialism hands you freedom, but with it comes a heavy truth. You're responsible for every step. In an AI age, that's tough. Why wrestle with purpose when you can scroll X and numb out? Fear creeps in. Fear of failing, of missing out, of not measuring up to the glossy lives algorithms shove in your face. These aren't just hurdles. They're the demons of our time whispering, why try? But here's the existentialist kicker. Those fears are part of the deal. They don't disqualify you. They define you. Take Sarah, a writer spooked by AI-generated stories flooding the internet. She worried her work was obsolete, her voice drowned out. Instead of quitting, she leaned in, publishing raw, handwritten essays about her small-town life. They weren't viral, but they were hers, and readers felt that. Or consider a teen Kai, who ditched Instagram's comparison trap to journal his own goals. Clumsy, real dreams that no app could curate. These are rebels, not because they're fearless, but because they act despite fear. You don't need to be perfect, just honest. One choice a day keeps the dread at bay. Say no to a project that feels wrong. Turn off notifications to think. Research suggests reflection cuts anxiety, but existentialism's take is fiercer. Your choices are your fight. Camus said, "The only way to deal with an unfree world is to become so absolutely free that your very existence is an act of rebellion. Be that rebellion. What's one fear you'll face to live your truth?" You've got the roadmap. Unearth your values. Act with guts. Embrace the absurd. Weave meaningful habits. Forge real bonds. Laugh at tech's quirks. And conquer your fears. But existentialism doesn't tie your story with a neat bow. It thrusts freedom into your hands and says, "Go right." Sartre's truth rings loud. You are your life's author. Not your apps, not your feed, not the world's hum. You. So grab the pen, scribble wildly, erase gently, laugh, weep, but never let an algorithm dictate your plot. Picture Maya, who stitched these steps into her life. A retail worker, she felt trapped by AI's optimized schedules and trending goals. She reflected values, joy, growth, acted, took a pottery class, dared the absurd, performed at an open mic, built rituals, weekly sketching, connected, hosted family cookouts, laughed at tech fails, a bot suggested vegan burger with bacon, and faced fears, shared her art publicly. Each choice was a thread, weaving in a life that felt like hers. Maya's not done. None of us are. But she's living, not just existing. Start now, small but fierce. Skip a recommended task to paint a canvas. Ask your dad about his first job. No phone in sight. Say no to a draining gig. Yes to a dream that scares you. These aren't just steps. They're your story, unfolding. Join our hashtag Meaningful Journey. Share your chapter, not for likes, but because your life matters. In the AI age, writing your truth is the ultimate rebellion. What's your next sentence?